starting lineup, beginning with the visiting Mohawk Mountaineers. From Hamilton, number 2, Turner Lee. From Dunnville, number 7, Ethan May. From Oakville, number 9, Noah Bouchard. From Burlington, number 10, Dean Zachary. From Oakville, number 15, Brecken Morrison. From St. Catharines, number 17, Alex Durak. And from Martin, number 19, Andrew Maturius. Your head coach for the Mohawk Mountaineers is Brad McClure. Now stand introduce the director attention to the homeland and we introduce the starting lineup for your Niagara Knights. From Notre Dame here in Welland, number 4, Riley Orr. From our league team of the World Catholic Academy in Richmond Hill, number 6, Liam Marquetti. From Dakota High School in Winnipeg, Manitoba, number 7, Wisdom Smith. From Eaton High School in St. Catharines, number 8, Ashton Newitt. From St. John Henry Newman in Hamilton, number 9, Matthew Carroll. From Eaton High School in St. Catharines, number 10, Micah Newitt. And from Fraser Heights Secondary all the way in Surrey, British Columbia, number 12, Rowan Redicott. Your head coach of the Niagara Knights is Steve Doe. We now hand it over to our head officials to get the game underway.
Good afternoon and welcome back inside the Simply Financial Athletic Center here for the second slated game. It's the men's OCAA matchup. The Niagara College Knights taking on the Mohawk Mountaineers. The women's team taking out a 3-1 win earlier this afternoon. The Knights looking to do the same on the men's side after losing in the previous matchup to Mohawk 3-0 in Hamilton. NC looking to get revenge here. The Knights sitting in 5th in the West Division, Mohawk sitting in 7th. My name is Noah Vogel, alongside me, Alex Vanden Hack. And here we go for set number 1. What should we expect here from the Knights here today? Their first game of 2025.
I think maybe in the first set, we'll see a little bit of rust. Obviously, they haven't played a true regular season game in about 2 months' time. But I think a very intense and close game because, like I've mentioned before in the previous game, this is a rivalry game. These two teams do not like each other.
And right off the hop, Noah Bouchard finding Ethan May, and that's a connection we've seen for a very long time for the Mohawk Mountaineers. 4 years both of these players have been on the team, as Bouchard will now go back serving for Mohawk. Bouchard from Oakville, Ontario, is served passed up. Redicott looking for touches, won't get it, as NC tries to respond out of the middle. And that one sent to the back. 2-0 start for Mohawk.
Both of these teams playing pretty mediocre volleyball right now. Winning a game and losing a game back to back. Seems like for the last 6 games.
Marquetti on the outside. That one's dug up. And Mohawk will send it over. That was Andrew. Oh, pardon me. That was Alex Jurak on the outside. As he gets his first kill, a tool off the block, and Mohawk, perfect start for them. NC trying to respond, they'll recycle it off of the block. Marquetti on the outside, and that one down as Neem couldn't get to it. He got a touch, but it went out the back. And Liam Marquetti, mostly known as a middle blocker for NC, and out here today for the first game of 2025, we'll see him on the left side starting this one. So a bit of a change for Steve Stone, maybe a different look here for the Knights.
We know Steve Stone likes to make substitutions, so I'm not surprised that he made one very early on this season.
Bouchard trying to go back to May out of the middle, and a tough roll. He just missed on the outside. Redicop going to go back serving again. NC's got the lead to 1.
Yeah, Niagara's lost 2 of their last 3, and their only win in that time came against Boreal, and that's also the same way it goes for Mohawk.
Oh, Redicop puts that one into the net as NC misses their first serve of set number 1. Rowan Redicop, the Surrey, BC native, his first year for NC was a player for the Brock Badgers last season, and so far he's been an electric rookie for NC out of the middle. Ashton Newitz out of the back row, hammers it down, and Jurak got a touch but couldn't keep it up. And NC get it right back, 3-4. Here's Wisdom Smith, another new face for NC, sends that one out the back.
Wisdom Smith, with a lot of raw talent, has seen his minutes go up and down, but when he's on, he's one of the best players on this team.
May with a big serve, over pass from Newitz. So go to the outside, tight on the net. Zakari tips it over. Perron to Marchetti, off the block, and Bouchard plays it up. Jurak to help out. Zakari, a huge hit on the outside. He brings it down. And Mohawk, 6-3 start here in set number 1.
Mohawk lost their last game 3-0 against Fanshawe at home on Wednesday, so looking to get their first win and first set win of 2025.
May spinner comes off Marchetti, and an ace for Ethan May. And Mohawk continuing to pepper it on NC here in this first set. Macer again, and another ace back-to-back for Ethan May. This time getting Ashton Newitz. Ethan May deadly behind the line. That time he threw it a little too far, but nonetheless catches the back line. And 3 aces in a row for Ethan May. That one a little different from the rest. Threw it a little too far ahead, but he's able to collect himself midair and just rolls it on the back line of the Knights.
Yeah, Ethan May with the natural hat trick there of aces.
NC able to figure out his serve that time, and Wisdom Smith was dug up by May. Perron to Marchetti, trying to roll it down the line. He got blocked, and it came off him and out of bounds. And it's a 10-3 start for Mohawk, and Steve Stone's gonna have to call a timeout. What a start here for Mohawk in set number 1. And they're looking to do what they did at home against NC here.
Yeah,
and
Mohawk,
dominate, and they've done that so far.
Mohawk coming out with a vengeance here. Probably a bad taste in their mouth after that loss back at home on Wednesday. Looking absolutely dominant, looking to sweep their rivals this season.
So NC having trouble figuring out the Mohawk serve, especially from Ethan May. 3 aces already in this first set. And Mohawk's got an astounding 10-3 lead here early on.
Yeah, Ethan May, he's in year number 4 for Mohawk from Dunnville, and his age and experience really showing off here for his Mountaineers. A little bit of a homecoming, Dunnville about 25-30 minutes from here.
So May back serving once again. Out of the timeout, 7-point lead for Mohawk. May serve is dug up by Marchetti. He'll get it on the outside. It's blocked and kept alive as Orr plays it over to Perron. He tips it off the block and out of play. A great play from Matty Perron. He's able to swipe it away and win the point. A much needed side out for NC.
It almost feels like Niagara needs a big momentum building play here. They've been coming out quite flat here in this first set.
Liam Marchetti back serving now. Took a touch off the top of the tape. Bouchard racing over for it. It's tight on the net. And Zakari went around the antenna. So auto play, and NC wins the point once again. And Marchetti sends it out the back, so he wins a point and gives a point as Mohawk will now move to 11-5 leading. And we'll see Brecken Morrison, first-year player out of Oakville, back serving for the first time here in this game. Heavy serve, Newitt's able to get it up. Perron racing for it, couldn't keep it alive, and an ace for Brecken Morrison.
The service game has really been the difference here. Niagara with 3 service errors of their own, and I think 4 or 5 aces for Mohawk here in this first set.
Morrison goes cross courts, passed up by Ashton Newitt. Still go to Wisdom Smith out of the back row. A huge kill. C ball for Wisdom Smith. And he flies in for another NC point, cutting the lead in half.
We talk about a big momentum play. That's one right there that Niagara is hoping to build off of.
Passed up by Neem. Bouchard able to keep it up. He played it off the block. Zakari with a tool off hands. And Mohawk continuing to have an answer every time NC bounces back. So here is Dean Zakari, a serve passed up by Marchetti. They'll go back to Wisdom Smith. And I think that caught the top of Ethan Bouchard's head and went up and out of play. Wisdom Smith, the hang time on that one. That set a little bit far over the attack line, but he was able to stay behind. And another kill for Wisdom Smith.
Wisdom Smith, 6'8" from Winnipeg, so in his first year. So very, very bright future here at Niagara College.
Matty Perron serve a heavy one, overpass. Ashton Newitz will take it. Perron to Newitz, tools it off the block. Ashton Newitz gets into it. And his first attempt is a point for NC. 13-8 Mohawk leading here in set number 1. Matty Perron continuing to serve. Neem, overpass, Ashton Newitz, able to tool it off the block once again, and back-to-back points for number 8. Perron serve, catches the line, an ace for Matty Perron. Perfectly paints the back corner, and it's going to be a timeout for Mohawk as Brad McClure not liking what he saw after NC has clawed their way back here in set number 1. 13-10, Mohawk still leading.
Well, to your point, it was a 6 or 7 point lead. Now it's down to 3 with all the momentum in Niagara's favor. It seems like the big plays have came from the Knights and not the Mountaineers. The Mountaineers haven't really been flashy here today, but also 3 service errors coming from Niagara College, fueling this early lead for Mohawk.
Well, that serving run we saw from Ethan May to start the game was a huge buffer for Mohawk, which got them that 10-3 lead. And NC has now fought their way back and are down 3 here in set number 1. Taking a look at that serve from Maddie Perron, and couldn't have done it any better. Perfectly placed from number 9, and he'll go back and continue serving here out of the timeout. Here's Perron's serve. Passed up by Neem. Bouchard outside for Jurak. It's kept alive off the block. Jurak will try again, tight to the net. And Ashton Newitt's able to play it up. Perron back set looking for Marchetti. He's able to roll it over. Bouchard. His communication there is that set a little too far ahead. Out of the back row. And Smith able to roll it over. A dig by Neem. Micah Newitz to Smith. Finds the gap. And what a play from Micah Newitz. He took hands after that first ball came to Matty Perron. It all looked like he was going to go to the left side, able to switch it up and find Wisdom Smith, who hammers it down. Perron's serve. A laser, a little too much behind it as it goes all the way up the back. And Mohawk will side out once again. Here's Mojarius, his first serve for Mohawk. Perron, Smith on his offside, able to recycle. Perron to Ashton Newitz, rolls it over top of the tape. And it didn't matter, Mohawk was on the net, NC able to side out. So here's Ashton Newitz. Passed up by Zakari. They'll go to the back row and never made it through as Morrison stuffed up in the net.
Looks like the official also said 4 touches for Mohawk. Back to a 1-point game. It was down to about 6 or 7, and Niagara doing a good job to claw back into this one.
Ashton Newitz serve, passed up by Jurak. They'll go to the middle. Mayward checked it. Bouchard able to keep it up off the block. Jurak! Oh, wow! A head scratcher for Wisdom Smith as he got up and stuffed Jurak on the left side.
Wisdom Smith has really had a really strong game here today. At points this season, he looked like the best player, and other times not so much, but we're really seeing what Wisdom Smith do here today.
6'8" frame is hard to hit around if you're Mohawk, and that time gets another touch and he puts it straight down, and NC takes their first lead here, 15-14. Ashton Newitz serve. Passed up by Zakari. May out of the middle, and Redicott got up once more. And NC are putting the brakes on Mohawk right now. Up at the net, they're winning every play so far, and now they lead 16-14.
A little bit surprised that Coach McClure hasn't used his second timeout here, but we'll see if he does down the stretch.
Newitz, another good serve, passed up by Neem. They'll go to the outside. Jurak got blocked, but was able to hit it so hard, went out the back in a tool for Alex Jurak, and now Mohawk siding out, and Noah Bouchard will go serve. Passed up by Ashton Newitz. They'll go back to him out of the back row. Came deflected off the block and fooled Neem, who tried to get down and get it. But Ashton Newitz another kill, this time out of the back row. Rowan Redicott now going serve. His floater, shallow one to the middle, and May responds with a big kill. And Ethan May has been easily the most dangerous player for Mohawk here in set number 1.
Yeah, Ethan May with 3 aces, had a nice defensive play too, doing a little bit of everything here in this first set.
Alice Jurak, the St. Catharines native, he finds the tape, but it just gets over. Oh, what a take by Bouchard. That was fired at him by Wisdom Smith. Orr keeps it up, and Perron will put over a shallow ball. Zakari blocked by Smith. They'll go back to him on the outside, able to recycle it. Bouchard racing over to May in the middle, and knuckled up by Newitz, and that one is not able to be kept up by Matty Perron, and a point for Mohawk. 17 all here in the first set.
Great defensive effort from both sides there. That was an unbelievable rally, and we're now knotted up here at 17.
Alex Jurek serving once again. His spinner into the back of his own teammate as Morrison got pelted. Nonetheless, a missed serve, and we're going to see Matty Takix get subbed in here for Wisdom Smith. So now he'll go back and serve. 18-17 NC leading. Here's Matty Takix. Passed up by Neem. Bouchard tight to the net to Morrison on the outside. Mohawk able to reset. Zakari off hands. Takix with the dig. Marchetti twisting around, able to lob it over the block. Neem help it out with hands. Morrison into the antenna. And NC take a 2-point advantage here late in set number 1. Takix serving once again. Bouchard to Morrison, able to get it through the block and down as Orr couldn't get tight enough with Marchetti, and that just came in between. And now Mohawk's got Ethan May set up here serving, which could spell danger for the Knights. Had a tough time handling his serve his first time round. This time takes a little bit off it, and Ashton Newitz with a perfect pass. That one almost looked like Riley Orr had a hole in his arm, just went right through. An unfortunate break for the Knights, and Ethan May will go back serving, now tied here at 19.
Well, if this one stays as competitive as it has so far, that could be a play where Niagara could look back on as to where it went wrong.
Mike Newitz with a good pass. They'll go to Takix out of the back row, and NC will recycle. Marchetti off hands. Bouchard plays it into the middle. May will help it out. And Mohawk having to throw over a free ball. Here comes NC. Perron real tight to the net. And that joust won by Mohawk as Zakari puts it down. And now advantage Mohawk pushing 5. May serve, a good one. Can't get any better than that. That's his 4th ace of the first set. And it's 21-19 Mohawk.
Ethan May, have yourself a day. Like Noah said, that's his 4th serve of this first set, really taking over here for his Mountaineers.
Can he do it again? Not this time. Ashton Newitz with a perfect pass to Orr out of the middle with the response. And that time Perron and Orr connecting. And it turns into a big point, a huge side out for NC. And Mitch Chirpy now going to check in for Marchetti. To close out this set here, he'll go back and serve.
First time we've seen Mitch so far in this game. A little bit surprising. He's had a good season so far.
Chirpy's spinner passed up by Sakari. Morrison on the outside, able to get it through the block, and antenna called. And NC wins the point once again. We're tied up now. Chirpy. Spinner, passed up again by Zakari. This time they'll go to Jurak in the back row, and tough one for Mike Inuits. Whether that was in or out, tried to play, came off the shoulder and out of play. And Jurak with a big kill here. We'll get some substitutions as Cole Crowder will check in. And he'll go back and serve, and Thomas Kuzma will come into the front row. Crowder serve, a shallow one passed up by Newitz. Takix out of the back row, sent it out the back. And pushing two now are the Mountaineers. And Steve Stone's going to call his final timeout. As NC now down two with Cole Crowder serving for Mohawk, and the Mountaineers 2 points away from taking set number one.
Yeah, it's been down to the wire besides probably the first 10 to 12 points when it was 10 to 13 for Mohawk, but I like Niagara's resilience here to get this one back, and they'll have to change up a couple things down the stretch here in this last set if they want to take it away, but nonetheless, I think there is a lot to like. Niagara committing 4 service errors, contributing to the 23 points, as well as that miscue by Riley Orr. So this will definitely be tight down the stretch in these final few sets.
The Knights have done an excellent job after going down 7 points at the start of this set to fight their way back. They're now down 2. And take a look at that last point for the Mountaineers, as Tactics just unable to find the court. But NC has done an excellent job winning battles up at the net. Their presence so far in this first set has been huge in getting them back into this game, and now they're down 2. And Cole Crowder out of the timeout serving. Newitz passing, Perron to Chirpy out of the back row. Perfectly run set for the Knights, and Mitch Chirpy puts it away. And NC back within 1. We'll get a double substitution here. Pardon me, Jack Drummond will come in for Riley Orr. He's going to go back and serve. Rowan Redekop checking back in for Mike Newitz. So Jack Drummond, his first action here this afternoon, first year out of Thorold, Ontario. Drummond's spinner passed up. Zakari on the outside, dug up by Chirpy. Perron to Redekop. Wow, what a get by Neem. Zakari on the outside, finds the line. And Mohawk with set point now here in set number 1.
Well, Noah, if you want to talk about turning defense into offense, that is a perfect example right there. Turner Neem with a bit of an assist there with that nice dig, helping his Mountaineers get to match point.
So now serving is Dean Zakari for Mohawk. Set point here for the Mountaineers. Puts it in the net. And Knights with a lifeline.
1 timeout left for the Mohawks. We'll see how they use that down the stretch here.
So Tactics checks back out. Wisdom Smith now into the front row. Still set point here for the Mountaineers. Matty Perron about to serve, but Mohawk's going to take the timeout, try and ice him.
I like the timeout there from Coach McClure. 1 point away from victory, trying to ice the server.
Also in action today, looking around Niagara College sports, the women's basketball starting 2025 off with a bang. They went over to Hamilton to actually play Mohawk at the David Braley Athletic Center, and they ended up coming out victorious. So both women's volleyball and basketball team taking down Mohawk today, 66-61, the final score in that one. And currently underway is the men's Knights versus Mountaineers, with Niagara College Knights currently leading in the first quarter.
Taryn Mitchell had 16 points with 8 free throws made, so a good start from her in 2025.
And a huge performance off the bench from Asa Strawn, 5 for 5 with 12 points. Huge boost for them off the bench. Good to see NC getting wins today.
And 4 steals.
But now back to volleyball as Perron's serve is passed up. Jurak out of play. Great lead from Mitch Chirpy. And now we're going to extra points here in set number 1, 24 all. Here's Maddie Perron. Passed up by Neem. Overpass. Redicop puts it down. Morrison came across. That might have been going out. Nonetheless, it's NC point, and they got the advantage here now. Set point for the Knights.
No timeouts left for either side. Coach McClure just used his final one about 3 minutes ago, trying to ice the server for the Knights, but it hasn't worked with them scoring 2 straight.
Perron puts it in the net and tried to take a little off it. And NC with a missed serve late here, and now it's back to 25.
Yeah, that's now 5 service errors from the Knights in this match. Definitely something that they're going to look back on, regardless of win or loss, as to why it either went to extras or if they lost.
Jordan Ho checking in now to serve, and a good serve it was. Redicop puts it down once again, that same spot he had the last point, and now gives NC the advantage once again. Marchetti going to check back in for Mitch Chirpy to go into the front row.
Coming back in is Liam Marchetti.
And back serving Ashton Newitz with a chance to take set number 1 here. His serve finds the net, and that's 2 missed serves in a row for NC with set point. That'll tee up Noah Bouchard back serving for the Mountaineers.
I remember back against Fanshawe, service errors speak of the devil, but on November 2nd, the first home game for the Knights went to a 5th set, and service errors really cost them that game.
And they gave him another chance here with set point after Bouchard missing that serve. It's now Rowan Redicop back behind the line. His floater sails out the back, and that's 3 in a row missed serves for the Knights. Not taking their chances here in this first set.
Number 7 of the extended set.
So Alex Jurak now serving once again. His serve, heavy, passed up by Micah Newitz. Smith on the outside, toes it off the block. And Wisdom Smith gets the point to give him a chance here to win set number 1, and now he'll go behind the line to finish the job. Smith, high toss spinner. Oh yeah, an ace for Wisdom Smith. Catches the tape and down, and Wisdom Smith says, all right, I'll do it all myself. Gets the last 2 points here in set number 1. 29-27 set win for the Knights. And NC taking a 1-0 lead over the Mountaineers.
Yeah, that would have been disastrous if that would have been 4 straight service errors, giving Mohawk life. But I think Niagara has a lot to like from that first set. Obviously started slow, but really built momentum towards the second half of that set and winning the first set. That's their first set against Mohawk all season and their first matchup back on October 30th, they lost 3-zip, but good to get your first set win under your belt.
And that serve was absolutely lasered from Wisdom Smith. And an ace for him, his first of this one. And Wisdom Smith with a very strong first set. His presence up at the net, that 6'8" frame. He had a couple blocks, a couple kills, and an ace to finish off the job. And NC now with the advantage here in this one, trying to tie the season series between these two teams after Mohawk took the first 3-0. And it wasn't all pretty in that first set as Mohawk came out on fire with Ethan May behind the service line, but the resilience of the Knights able to come back from 10-3 down and win that one in extras, as we'll take a look at that final serve once again. Peppered at the top of the tape, Bouchard trying to get it and just couldn't keep it alive. And not much if you're Mohawk you can do about it. Kind of just have to shake that one off and go to the next.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, but a couple of miscues from Mohawk after the 20-point mark kind of cost them that set, and obviously not being able to keep your foot on the pedal after that 10-3 start, I believe it was, for Mohawk. They've lost 2 of their last 3, getting shut out against Fanshawe 3-zip at home, looking to get their first win of 2025.
And the Mountaineers kind of let NC back into that one. They had such a great start to that first set, and were just struggling to hit around that big block of Wisdom Smith, who became a real force in that set and was a big part in NC getting back into that one. And we'll see no changes from either side here for the second set, as the Mountaineers will look to tie things up. NC looking to take a 2-0 set lead.
Yeah, an update on the Knights men's basketball team. They are in Mohawk right now, trailing by 3 with 7:27 to go in the second quarter. Caden Moore leading the way with 7 points.
And first game back for Reggie Williams for the NC Knights. He's a well-known name around the college, especially in the basketball program. He's got 5 points for the Knights in that one. So here we go for set number 2. Noah Bouchard will start things off here for Mohawk. And finds the net. And Mohawk will start off with a service error. Almost costed NC at the end of that first set. There's 3 straight service misses. They're able to come out on top as well from Mohawk service errors, and Morrison on his offside able to tool it off the hands and win the first point for Mohawk.
Well, Noah, to your point about Niagara costing themselves going potentially that round, you also have to remember they had to do more rallies because of these service errors, which puts more miles on the body, which fatigue could play a factor down the stretch.
Marchetti throws it off the hands and tools it off the block. A smart play from Liam Marchetti, who came soaring in on that low set, was able to make do of it, and Wisdom Smith will now go back serving. Smith high toss, spinner, another ace back-to-back, if you consider last set for Wisdom Smith. And NC with a quick 3-1 lead.
Wisdom Smith with a hot start here today. We know how good he can be, and I think the scary thing for the rest of the OCAA is this is year 1.
Smith, and that one just out of play. And some of the NC bench thought maybe that one kissed the line, but nonetheless, it's now going to set up Ethan May serving for the Mountaineers.
Well, if you're going to have a service error, it's going to be, you'd want it to be like that because, like you said, Noah, that was very, very close.
May's serve passed up by Ashton Newitt. Smith out of the back row, sent it out the back. So back-to-back errors for Wisdom Smith, Ethan May serving again. High toss spinner into the net. And NC takes the point off of second service error for Mohawk early on. So here's Liam Marchetti serving for the Knights. 4-3 they lead here in set number 2. Marchetti serve passed up by Zakari. Bouchard back to him on the outside, kept alive, and a huge block again. NC has been all over the net early on. Matty Perron with the big stuff.
Yeah, that's even going back to the women's game. That's been a big story of Niagara this whole day is their interior front. Matty Perron with the block.
Marchetti serving again. Zakari got down to get that one. Bouchard throws it over Morrison, sends that one way out, and gives the point away for the Knights, who have now taken a 3-point lead here, 6-3. So here's Liam Marchetti once again. Passed up by Jurak to the middle. NC got a touch, they're able to recycle. Perron to Smith out of the back row. Came off Neem, and Mohawk able to keep it back in play. Newitz to Perron to Marchetti in the back row. That one just a little behind, he was reaching for it. And unable to keep it in play.
It almost feels like pretty much all of Mohawk's points this set have came off of errors from Niagara, and you can't afford to give any team really a lifeline from errors.
So here's Brecken Morrison serving now for Mohawk. Perron. Ashton Newitz having to reset. He'll dump it over. Bouchard pushes it. Zakari dug up by Marchetti. Smith out of the back row. Neem with the dig. Bouchard to Morrison, reaching. Newitz couldn't get there in time. And a great read from Brecken Morrison, able to tip it over the block. And down for the Mountaineers, 6-5 NC leading. Morrison, low toss. And a tough get for Newitz, and joust up at the net. Bouchard wins it. And that's 3 straight points for Mohawk, and we're tied at 6.
The start of this set has been a lot more competitive than the first. Mohawk got off to a 10-3 run to start the set, but couldn't quite hold on with Niagara winning in extras.
Morrison sends that one out the back, and that's another missed serve from Mohawk here early on.
Number 3 in the set here.
So here's Riley Orr now, back serving for NC. Another low toss, he puts it in the net. And NC will send the point right back. Now here's Dean Zakari serving for the Mountaineers. And he puts it in the net as well. So 4th missed set for Mohawk. Has given NC half their points here in set number 2. Here's Matty Perron. Laser for both sides.
Nearly half of the points in this set combined have came off the service error, 6 combining for both of these teams.
Nigeria serving now for Mohawk, and an ace as Newitz was trying to, looked like he tried to get out of the way for Marchetti to play. It came off of him and out of play, and an ace for the first year, Andrew Mugieres, who serves once again. This time Newitt's able to pass. They'll go to Ashton Newitz on the outside, and a huge kill for Ashton Newitz. As NC respond big here, we're tied back at 9.
Keep an eye out here for potentially a timeout. A 6-2, I guess now 6-3 run for Mohawk, but Niagara is starting to get a little bit of momentum.
Ashton Newitz now back behind the line. Oh, what a great dig by Micah Newitz. That one fired at him by Morrison. NC with the block, gets played up again. May able to take hands, Perron with the dig. And Newitz gonna have to throw that one deep. Bouchard to May, blocked at the net. And a huge rally won by NC, and hopefully for the Knights, a big momentum booster. Ashton Newitz serving once again. 1 point NC lead. Came off the top of the tape, Zakari got it. Morrison out of the back row, tried to go cross court. Good lead from Perron as that one sails out the side. Newitz serving. Good one, almost an overpass. Bouchard able to play it over. And a smart play by Noah Bouchard. And that's what he can do. He can be tricky up in the net, only 5'10", but man, can he get up near the net and able to just flutter that one into the back corner where no Knights were. And he's now back serving. Overpass from Newitz. May tries to play it down. Redicop got it. Marchetti on the outside. Played up once again, but too many touches. And Mohawk, 2 straight points, able to tie things back up again. It's been back and forth so far here in set number 2, much like the second half of set number 1 here, Alex.
Yeah, and looking at the height difference for Niagara, only one player under 6 feet tall, that being Riley Orr, whereas Mohawk has about 3 or 4 players under 6 feet.
Ethan May getting the better of Rowan Redicop that time. He a huge block up at the net. And Mohawk takes the lead here now. Bouchard serve. Marchetti passes a little bit off the net. And able to tip it over. Bouchard got down, and it's going to be Mohawk point. As it looked like NC were on the net. 2-point lead now for the Mountaineers. Bouchard, serve passed up by Newitz. Perron on the chase. Marchetti, dug out by Bouchard. Morrison rolls it over the block. Great dig by Micah Newitz. Redicop having to play it over. Bouchard to Zakari. That one sails at the back, looking for touches. Won't get it. And Mohawk can't believe it.
That did look like it may have been deflected, but Niagara potentially catching a break. Being down by 1.
Rowan Redicop now serving. Off the top of the tape, Bouchard will take hands. Oh, Alex Jurak on the offside. Peels it around the block and finds the space on the Knights side. He'll now go back serving up 2. Hard spinner. Marchetti passes it up, and a miscommunication there. Still gets over as Smith was able to dive across and get it up. Perron, Marchetti, dug up by Jurak. They'll go to Zakari tight on the net. Dug up again by Ashton Newitz. Marchetti off the net. Mohawk resetting to the middle. May down. And a 3-point lead now for Mohawk.
Great effort there for Niagara, but Mohawk back up to their biggest lead when it was 6-3.
Plethora of great digs on both sides, and Mohawk win another big rally here in set number 2. Alex Jurak fires that one. Ashton Newitt's able to get it up. Smith on the right side and just out. That one was hit with a lot of heat behind it, but not in the court. Steve Stone's going to take his first timeout here. Now in set number 2, it had been back and forth, and now Mohawk starting to pull away up 4.
Yeah, the lead continues to grow up to the highest total it's been all day, but it overall has been fairly competitive throughout. It almost feels like whenever Mohawk and Niagara play against each other, it just seems like regardless of record, it's going to be a close game. These two teams do not like each other. And not only have we had a matchup for volleyball between these two squads today, down in Hamilton, Mohawk and Niagara are dueling it out on the basketball court with the women Knights beating Mohawk 66-61. Mohawk leading Niagara 34-33 so far in the second quarter, very, very early on. Taryn Mitchell with 16 points for the Knights.
So out of the timeout, it'll be Alex Jurak serving for Mohawk. And he's been a big part of the Mountaineers' success here in set number 2, and then pulling away here now up 4. And the Knights with some work to do here to try and take a 2-0 set lead. Mohawk trying to tie things up. Here comes Alex Jurak. Passed up high by Ashton Newitz. They'll go to Orr in the middle, and a great run that time. And fooled the defense of Mohawk, and Riley Orr puts it down. We'll see Matty Tackix check in for Wisdom Smith. He'll go back and serve.
Well, that's one of those plays where you can try and build some momentum. Only being down 3, this game is set is very, very winnable.
So here is Matty Tackix. Serve passed up by Neem. Morrison on the outside, came off hands, Newitz had to play it. And he'll throw over a free ball. Bouchard tight to the net, finds Morrison, dug up again. Newitz on the run, tried to keep it alive. It was just in front of the bleachers. And couldn't get a clean hit on it with the foot. And that'll be Mohawk points, 17-13.
Ethan May set to serve here. He was outstanding, Noah, in that first set with 4 aces.
This time he's passed up by Newitz. They'll go to Marchetti on the outside. Tools it off the block as Morrison was a little late getting up. And a good swing from Liam Marchetti. And he's going to check out now for Mitch Chirpy. So same substitution here for Steve Stone as set number 1. One fired into the net by Mitch Chirpy. And 18-14, Mohawk now leads. They're going to make their substitutions as well as Cole Crowder and Thomas Kuzma will check in for the Mountaineers. Crowder's going to go back and serve for Mohawk, up 4. His floater passed up by Newitz, tipped over by Perron, and a good read by Neem. That one tight to the net, touched the antenna, and NC got away with one there. And Jack Drummond's going to check in as well to sub-serve. He'll come in for Riley Orr. Drummond serve, a good one, Neem able to dig it up. Drummond with the dig on the attack from Zakari. They'll go to Chirpy in the back row, just out. And Chirpy can't believe it. That one just finding the outside of the court, and Drummond will check back out.
It almost feels like the lead is staying between 2 and 4 for Mohawk whenever they're trying to, Niagara trying to go on a little bit of a run. Mohawk has the answer. Have to give them credit for that.
Dean Sakari serving. Redekop out of the middle. Brings down the hammer, and a huge side out for NC. Down 3 now, and Matty Perron's going to go serve. Wisdom Smith will come back into the front row. Haven't seen his presence as much up the net as we did in the first set. Perron. An ace for Matty Perron, another one for number 9, and a huge point here for the Knights. Now down to 19-17, and Mohawk's gonna take a timeout. As NC, after kind of losing their foothold in this game, have now got themselves back into this one. 19-17, Mohawk leading.
Well, Noah, to your point, it's always been not quite close, but always competitive in this match, going between the 4-point to 2-point deficit, getting it back down to 2. I think that's a good timeout from Coach McClure. Both teams with 1 timeout remaining. We'll see how those are used down the stretch, but taking a look at the men's basketball game between Mohawk and Niagara down in Hamilton, the Mountaineers up by 10 at halftime, 45-35, with Marco Dozen with 23 points, as we're gonna get a replay from that last ace.
Matty Perron doing it in all sorts of places. His second ace of the game just got on the back line, and a huge point here, looking to shift momentum in Niagara's favor.
We mentioned those big plays like an ace or a big slam that can build momentum. Niagara trying to do that, as Matty will serve it for his Knights.
So Matthew Perron serving once again. Out of the timeout, and this one fired at Neem. He's able to get it up. Jirak on the outside, blocked by Smith, and came off of, I believe, Thomas Kuzma, and went out of play. A huge block of the net. We just talked about Wisdom Smith not being as aggressive over the net. Gets a huge block there. Perron finds the net, and Matty Perron can't continue his serving run here. And Mohawk now pushing 5 here, 2018. Mujahir's now serving for the Mountaineers. And that one flies at the back. A good lead from Mike Inuits.
5 service errors now for Mohawk in the second set. They were pretty clean in the first set, not having a single service error, but in this one they've got 5.
So here's Ashton Newitz. His serve passed up by Zakari. Crowder to the outside this time. Newitz with a dig, and Smith just a little late to get to it. And a kill there on the outside for Thomas Kuzma. After checking in, he's going to check back out now. Bouchard and Morrison will come back into the game. Bouchard spinner, Chirpy passes. Perron to Redekop out of the middle. Good fix from him, as that set was a little bit tight, and thrown out the back by Jirak, and we're back to a 1-point game.
Micah Newitz will have a seat here.
Rowan Redicop now serving. NC down 1. Floated down the line and an ace for Rowan Redicop. Perfectly placed. And just caught that rotation from Bouchard trying to get into the front row, and Jurak just overstepped it.
Perfectly placed there from Rowan, and this one looks like it's going to be very competitive down the stretch, like what we saw in the first set where we went to extra points.
So Jurak's going to check out here, and Josh Taylor's going to come in for his first action of this one. Redicop trying to go to the same spot. This time doesn't work. Bouchard to Morrison on his offside. It's blocked and down as Smith and Orr come together once again. And NC's got the lead now.
For the first time in a while, potentially the first time in this set, I don't have the statistic in front of me, but it seems like ever since it was 6-3 Mohawk, excuse me, it's been all Mohawk for the most part.
Redicop sends that one out the back. And miss that could prove costly here for NC. With now Josh Taylor serving for Mohawk. First year out of Hamilton. Taylor passed up by Newitz. Perron to Chirpy, flying up, able to recycle it. Zakari on the net. Mohawk tries once again. Morrison down the line and beats him. And Brecken Morrison has got the advantage back in Mohawk's favor. And Steve Stone's going to call his final timeout here and try and ice Josh Taylor behind the line. With Mohawk only needing 2 here for a set 2 win.
I think that's a good timeout there from Coach Stone. 2 points away from losing the second set. I think there's a lot to like from Niagara. Besides the service errors, go back to that first set, they had 7. Albeit they've cut back down to 5, but still too many if you want to compete at the highest level. And Mohawk with 5 service errors of their own as well. So whoever loses this set will probably look back on those service errors as to why they lost the second set.
So 23-22, Mohawk leading. And this was the point to give them the advantage. After a tough attack for Chirpy, they tried to recycle. And finally it came over for Mohawk. Bouchard finding Morrison and beating Newitz down the line for a 1-point advantage here, pushing 2. Josh Taylor serving for the Mountaineers. His spinner, passed up by Newitz. Smith on the outside in a perfect response for the Knights. Out of the timeout, they go to Wisdom Smith, and he delivers.
Wisdom Smith had a huge first set, but has kind of slowed down here in the second one. We know at times Wisdom Smith can look like the best player on the court, but we'll see if he can continue his hot play down the stretch here. And keep in mind, Mohawk still has 1 timeout in their back pocket.
Marchetti checking back in. Smith took a little bit off that one. Bouchard gonna go back to Morrison. He's blocked up in the net. Bouchard, Zakari tips it over the block. Marchetti got down. Free ball thrown over by Newitz. Morrison on the outside, cuts across and rolls under the net and rolls Mohawk into a 1-point advantage. Set point for the Mountaineers. No timeouts left for Steve Stone here in this set. May serving. Newitz passes. Perron to Marchetti. Tools it off the block. And Marchetti with the set on the line, able to win the point for the Knights.
More extra points here. Noah, going back to that first set, it was, I believe, 27-25 for Niagara, looking to go back to.
Can't get much tighter than this. Marchetti. Bouchard to Zakari on the outside, sends it out the back, no touches. And NC's got the advantage once again. This is what they had in the first set and couldn't put it away with their serves.
Yep, it was, I think there was 3 straight service errors in that first set, which really limited them from winning earlier, but looking to get it done here.
Marchetti looking to do it here. Passed up by Zakari. They'll go to the middle and just got through the block. Mujirius able to get the kill for the Mountaineers. Mujirius, not a lot of attacks up in the net, but a big one here. Morrison serving. Perron to Ashton Newitz, dug up by Taylor. Zakari, dug up by Micah Newitz. Wisdom Smith out of the back row. Off of Morrison and out of play. Wisdom Smith has been clutch near the back end of these sets, and he does it once again here in set number 2.
Set point, and Mohawk will use their second and final timeout here. Interesting they got down to this point when it's been so competitive with 2 timeouts, and I feel like whenever these 2 teams play, it's going to be a classic. That's what we've gotten so far.
It certainly has been, and both sets going extra points, 26-25 NC leading. And we've seen a couple of substitutions. We know Steve Stone likes to change things up, and one of those players that's come in, you see just to the right of your screen, Jack Drummond. And a special shout out to him because it's his birthday. So happy birthday, Jack, from everyone here in the broadcast booth, from myself, Noah, and Alex. Wishing you a very happy birthday. We see that awesome sign up in the stands. And so far, when he's come in, he's done a great job, and we've seen a lot of good production from the first year, Jack Drummond. So happy birthday.
Hopefully can celebrate tonight with a big victory.
Or with the serve out of the timeout. NC looking to take a 2-0 set lead with set point. Perron, they'll go back to Smith. Off the block and straight down. Huge from Mohawk as they shut down Wisdom Smith and give themselves a lifeline. So Zakari with things tied up at 26 here in set number 2. Marchetti with the pass. They'll go to Ashton Newitz this time. Zakari able to match it with the dig. Taylor with his first attack. Off the block, it just touches the back line as Redicop got up and made a huge play up in the net, and NC with advantage once more.
That can't get much closer, Noah. Just barely squeaked in.
So here comes Manny Perron. Set point for the Knights. Dug up by Neem. They'll go to Taylor on the outside. Came off hands. Perron with the dig. Smith dug up by Zakari. Mohawk tries once more. Tight to the net for Taylor. Micah Newitz to Smith. Tries to roll it over and didn't put enough behind it. And we'll continue here in set number 2, tied at 27.
Wow, a golden chance there from Wisdom Smith to end the second set. Falls just short, but this is some of the best volleyball you can watch. 2 teams that don't like each other, and just in extras, I feel like this one was gonna go to 5 sets.
Jordan Ho comes back in and he serves in here for Mohawk, and Newitz is blocked by Taylor. And a huge play gives the advantage to Mohawk for the first time here in this set. Jordan Ho serving once again. Shallow floater, passed up by Newitz. Perron to Smith on his offside. He's blocked by Bouchard. 5'10" against 6'8". And Noah Bouchard gets the better of Wisdom Smith. 29-27. 29-27. And both teams split the first two sets. And what a start to this game it has been. As Mohawk ties things up at 1 apiece. We'll head to a third set in moments. And NC just can't seem to put away that final point. They've had a couple chances where they've been at set point. They had the same in the first set and were able to do it just by the skin of their teeth. This time, they can't, as Mohawk makes them pay.
Well, that's happened a couple times this season where it's been close. Niagara's had a chance to win, and it's fallen to the wayside. But I think there is a lot to like for Niagara. These two teams throwing haymakers at each other, it almost feels like it's a guarantee at this point to go to 5 sets with how close it's been. But we're going to get a replay coming up here shortly.
As Mohawk just needing that final point. NC trying to take back the advantage. They go to Wisdom Smith on his offside, and he's rejected up at the net by Noah Bouchard. And the Knights fall here in set number 2. And now this all but important set number 3. Both teams trying to take a 2-1 set lead.
Absolutely. When it's tied like this is the biggest set, well, besides the 5th set, of course, but you don't want to go into the 4th set feeling like your back is against the wall. And taking a look at the men's basketball game down in Hamilton, Mohawk up 47-39. Marco Dozen staying hot, 23 points for the Knights. Excuse me, Mohawk, the women Knights defeating the Mountaineers down in Hamilton. The men here looking to sweep the volleyball on home court.
First game of 2025 for the Niagara College Knights. Once again, back here at the Simply Financial Athletic Center. If you're just joining us, it's tied at 1 apiece after 2 sets. My name is Noah Vogel. Alongside me, Alex Vanden Hack. As we get set for set number 3 here. No changes for Mohawk except one. Josh Taylor's going to stay in the game over Alex Jirak. He had a couple of huge plays down the stretch in extra points when he came in. And for NC, they're going to stay with the same lineup as the first 2 sets.
A lot of service errors in that second set. Mohawk committing 5, Niagara committing 4. So both teams certainly can look upon that as to why it was as close as it was, really.
So we'll start things off here in set number 3 with Ashton Newitz behind the line. His serve passed up by Zachary. Bouchard tips it over into the pot. And the trickery again of Noah Bouchard wins the first point here of set number 3. His serve passed up by Newitz. They'll go to Marchetti on the outside. Mohawk able to keep it alive. They'll go to Taylor. Took a touch off the block. Newitz able to play it up. Marchetti rolls it down the back, and it was a little too long. Looking for touches, won't come. (2-0) start for Mohawk here in set number 3. Bouchard serving once again. His spinner passed up by Newitz. Tight to the net for Perron. It's put straight down by Ethan May. And a 3-0 lead now for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, Ethan May having a strong start here in a homecoming of sorts fourth year from Dunnville, Ontario, getting it done here for his Mountaineers.
Bouchard passed up. Smith on the outside. Puts that one away after he got rejected by Noah Bouchard. Sends it right down his alley, and he couldn't get it up. 3-1 now.
Yeah, Wisdom Smith continues to make his presence felt here today.
Redicop, a soft serve, passed up by Taylor. Bouchard, Morrison on his offside. Orr to help out with hands. Marchetti plays it across, it's dug up by Morrison. Taylor. Perron with an A, Marchetti. Smith rolls that one, and racing for it into the net was Morrison. And that's gonna be NC point. Redicop serve, passed up by Neem. On the outside, Taylor got up and puts it down. He'll now go back serving. Lots of athleticism from Josh Taylor on that outside. Taylor's serve, wires it out the back. Wisdom Smith now serving. Knights down 1 here early on. Smith can't find the court. And Mohawk will take a 2-point lead once again. Ethan May behind the line for the Mountaineers. His spinner. Newitz passes. Perron to Orr out of the middle. And he puts it down. Riley Orr's only had a few chances up in the net attacking, and he puts that one away. Marchetti sends it out the back. And that's back-to-back missed serves for the Knights. Brecken Morrison serving. First year at Oakville, Ontario for Mohawk. Good serve that was. Newitz able to pass. Marchetti out of the back row. In a great swing out of the pipe position for Liam Marchetti. Able to find the gap between the block, and Riley Orr will now serve.
Yeah, these two teams can't get too far away from each other on the scoreboard. It seems like it's been within 3 or 4 for the last 25, 30 sets.
And another missed serve for the Knights here early on. That's 3 in a row. If you're just joining us here in set number 3, it's tied at 1 apiece. NC took the first one 29-27. Mohawk responding in set number 2 with a 29-27 set win. And they currently lead here 7-5 in set number 3. Newitz. Bouchard to Zakari. Newitz with a big dig. Perron plays it back. Neem backtracking, able to keep that one alive. Perron to Redicop out of the middle. Tipped over. Morrison keeps it up. Tight at the net. Redicop plays it up once again. Newitz will push it down low. Taylor dug up by Marchetti. Bouchard, 2-ball, blocked at the net. He keeps it alive. Redicop out of the middle, puts it away. The Knights thought that should have ended way earlier. The antenna went flying. And you could see Coach Steve Snow very animated over on the side of the bench. Nonetheless, Knights take a huge momentum booster. And now down 1.
Yeah, that was definitely a massive momentum booster. as what Ben Wallace would say, the ball don't lie.
Perron serve, passed up by Zakari. Bouchard to the middle, blocked at the net by Smith. Smith once again, this time it gets tooled off. And Taylor, great job reading the block that time. Here's Mujrias. Comes off the top of the tape. Perron plays it up. Newitz floats that one over. Bouchard tights the net, pushes it deep. Smith having to collect himself, able to push it over the net. Morrison dug up again by Marchetti. Newitz keeps it alive. High flying ball, and Ashton will put it over. Bouchard to the outside. Taylor blocked at the net. Ashton Newitz says not today, and a huge rejection.
Yeah, those are those momentum building plays that I've been talking about. These two teams can't really seem to get ahead of each other. It seems like it's been flip-flopping between a 1 to 2 point lead, but Niagara looking to build some momentum here.
Newitz puts that one in the net. And another missed serve for NC in this one.
Potentially a little bit of a commentator's jinx there, Noah.
So here's Noah Bouchard now serving. His serve, passed up by Newitz. Redekop stuffed at the net, but Newitz able to keep it alive. NC recovers, and Smith, what can you do about that? Hits over top of the block. And a huge side out for Wisdom Smith and the Knights. Here's Rowan Redekop now serving for Niagara College. Name passes. Bouchard to May out of the middle. Didn't get full contact. NC will try on their side. Marchetti able to recycle it off the block. Smith having to reset. Will dump that one over. They'll go to Taylor on the offside. Newitz with a dig. Smith can't find the line. Yes, he can. First it was called out, but the call was overturned, and Wisdom Smith with back-to-back kills for the Knights. Redekop, not enough on it as it flies into the tape, and again, NC missing serves here.
That's number 4, service error number 4, 5.
6, I think.
6? Wow.
Here's Josh Taylor. Newitz over passes, and an ace for Josh Taylor. And Mohawk's got a 2-point lead now.
I've liked Josh Taylor's game here today, coming off the bench. First-year player from Hamilton. He's really made an impact here, showing off a lot of his athleticism.
Brought a lot of energy here for Mohawk. What a pass from Micah Newitz. Ashton Newitz out of the back row. And the Newitz duo putting that point together.
Newitz squared.
For real. Matty Tactic's going to check back in. And he's going to serve for Wisdom Smith. Tactic serve, a good one, passed up by Zakari. Morrison on the outside, blocked at the net, and just came off of Riley Oren down, and Mohawk responds. Here's Ethan May serving now for the Mountaineers. His spinner passed up by Micah Newitz. They'll go to Tactics out of the back row and dug up by Bouchard. And flies that one out the back. And Matty Tactics has got himself into this set here. Marchetti going to check out now for Mitch Chirpy, who will go back and serve.
Haven't seen much of Mitch here today. I think that's the second or third time that we've seen him on the court here.
Here is Mitch Chirpy. His spinner passed up. Bouchard will go to the Sakari, tools it off the block. So smart up at the net is Dean Sakari, able to work whatever he wants, whether he's swinging around the block, through the block, and that time off it to win the point.
Yeah, Dean Sakari in his second year from Burlington.
So here's Brecken Morrison now. Comes off the tape, or will take it. Perron almost caught the line. It would have been a sweet play from Matthew Perron. He's able to pull that off.
No timeouts have been used in this third set. We'll see if Mohawk continues to build some more momentum if they elect to use one, but surprising that no timeout has been used.
Morrison, an ace! And that one was really close, but Morrison able to paint the line. It's now a 4-point lead for the Mountaineers. Morrison again. This time finds the net, and NC catches a break. This would be a totally different game if NC had figured out their serve, as they've really shot themselves in the foot with their missed serves. Now Jack Drummond's going to check back in.
Well, you go back even to the first set, they had 7 service errors, and they won an extra point. So if they didn't have those service errors, it would have been a lot closer. Definitely wouldn't have gone to service errors, or excuse me, extra points. But
Drummond sends it out the back, as was trying to find that back line but couldn't locate it. He's going to check back out now. So here's Dean Sakari serving for Mohawk. His spinner passed up by Newitz. Perron back to Newitz. Oh, wow, Mike Ashton Newitz with a huge swing on the outside, and feel like the Knights haven't been going to him enough here in this game when he's been called upon. Has been very good out on the left side. Doing a bit of everything. His defense has been very, very good, as well as a lot of the Knights' been today. Looking to locate those swings a little more. Here's Matty Perron. Bouchard. And a great play for Mohawk to respond. Bujayiris on the outside this time, able to get the kill, and the Knights are going to call their first timeout. Down 4 here, 17-13, and Mohawk looking to ride this and get a 2-1 set lead here in this one.
in the arena, we just had a happy birthday shout out to Jack Drummond, but it seems like service errors have really been the story of this game, Noah, for Niagara throughout really all of the 3 sets, biting themselves in the foot.
Four-point lead for Mohawk coming out of the timeout. Bujayiris now serving for the Mountaineers. And Newitz will help it out over to Smith, and it's dug out by Mohawk. Taylor rolls it over. Perron able to keep it up, but couldn't keep it in play. And called for over the attack line, and NC loses the point here, 18-13.
Yeah, starting to potentially get a little bit out of reach here for Niagara. If it gets anything further than this, it could be a hard time for Niagara to come back.
And that one goes to the net from Andrew Mujirias. And that'll set up Ashton Newitt serving now for NC, down 4. Might see to string some points together here late in this set. Neem passes, Bouchard to Morrison out of the back row. He's blocked, and Neem was able to keep it alive. Taylor's dug up, tight to the net for Perron. He leaves it for Taylor. Tight again, Smith throws it over, Bouchard deep. Perron chasing for it, and he couldn't keep it up. Scrappy volleyball for both teams, and Mohawk just able to pick these points away from the Knights. Here's Noah Bouchard. Cross-court spinner, passed up by Newitz. Chirpy. Bouchard to May out of the middle. Perron with the dig. Newitz coming across. Smith cross-court, kept alive. Perron to Newitz out of the back row. Knocks it off the top of the head of Noah Bouchard, and a huge swing again from Ashton Newitz. And we'll see the first introduction here of Wyatt Thompson, who checks in for NC, trying to break some energy off the bench. He'll come in and serve. Thompson's floater out the back. And another missed serve for the Knights in this set. So here's Josh Taylor now. Pushing 5 here for Mohawk. He sends it out. It's back to a 4-point deficit. Floater from Smith, passed up by Taylor, off the net for Morrison. Great dig there by Micah Newitz. Chirpy rolls that one over, read by Zakari. Bouchard to the middle, and a great quick play from Noah Bouchard, finding Ethan May. And he gets another kill here in this one. 4 points away from a set 3 win.
The all-important third set win. You never want to go down into that fourth set being down 2-1, because all the pressure is on you to get it done.
May's serve, passed up by Chirpy. Perron to Smith. Newitz to the outside. Chirpy! Huge swing from Mitch Chirpy. This is the first time in this game we've seen him in the front row, and a big swing from number 11. He'll now go back serving down 4.
Getting some more PT here down the stretch of this third set is Mitch Chirpy.
Chirpy's spinner, passed up by Taylor. Bouchard to the middle! Huge kill for Mohawk. Mujirias once again ringing the bell. And we'll see those substitutions as Alex Jurak will check in. And Cole Crowder will also come in as well. So 3 hitters back into the front row for Mohawk. Crowder's floater, Chirpy passes, it's put back over by Sakari. And that one sailed a little too far for Newitz. And it's 2 points away now for Mohawk, and Steve Stone's gonna call a timeout.
Yeah, back up to the biggest lead of the day for Mohawk. Now up to 6. This one's a little bit too far out of reach.
Knights is just unable to figure out the Mohawks serving right now in this set, and when they do, they're unable to put balls away. Mohawk able to do just that, and now have built their lead up to 6 here.
We're gonna get a replay of an earlier play from the game, but taking a look in Hamilton with the Knights taking on the Mountaineers for men's basketball. 1-point game, 61-60 in the fourth quarter with 7:25 to go. Niagara has cooled down Marco Dosen, and Caden Moore is getting going as we'll get a replay here from the rejection there. Niagara just now taking the lead, 62-61 with 7:03 left to go.
That was the play from Noah Bouchard that rejected Wisdom Smith in set number 2 to give Mohawk the win. And now we're here in set number 3 with the Mountaineers leading by 6, 23-17. Cole Crowder serving. Chirpy to Perron, to Newitz, had to readjust. Neem out of the back row, floats it over for Zakari, able to recycle it. Jurak out of the right side, dug up by Smith, tight to the net for Newitz. Played up once again by Mohawk and into the gap between Newitz and Chirpy. And it's set point now for Mohawk.
Unfortunate there for Niagara. They had to have been in a good position, but couldn't quite finish off that round.
Crowder, Newitz, Perron throws that one over. Smith able to get it back to Perron, who finds Orr, who's rejected up in the net. They recycle it. Newitz off hands and out of bounds. And the Knights hold on to their lifeline here. Here's Riley Orr serving, and that sailed at the back, and that will do it. So a lot of missed serves hurt the Knights in this set as they fall 25-18, and now the Mountaineers with the advantage heading into set number 4. They lead 2-1.
Yeah, service errors have really been the story of this whole game throughout the first 3 sets, and hopefully it doesn't continue into the 4th, but over 20 service errors in this game throughout 3 sets. When you're giving up that many service errors, especially to a rival team like this, it's playing with fire.
So we'll see as we head into set number 4 whether NC can make the comeback and win 2 straight. First off, they got to win set number 4 here to force a 5th. Mohawk riding the momentum here right now. They're up 2-0. Or pardon me, have won the last 2. They're up 2-1 as Mohawk took out the last one 25-18 as we take a look at that last play from set number 3. Won't be able to get that clip, unfortunately, but nonetheless, NC gonna have to dig themselves to this hole. And taking a look back at the NC game for the men's basketball, they turned it around. They're up 67-61 now over the Mountaineers with 5:48 left in the 4th quarter.
Taking a look at the top scorers, Marco Dosen had 23 points at half, only 2 points in this second half, so great job defensively. Caden Moore really carrying the load. 16 points on 7 of 8 shooting, 2 of 2 from downtown. The women defeating, the Knights women defeating the Mountaineers, getting up to 11-1 in the early season. Taryn Mitchell with 16 points and Asia Strawn with 12 points off the bench alongside of 4 steals.
What a season the Knights women are having this year, and they're starting off 2025 big with their first win of the calendar year. And it's with their new head coach, Kimball McKenzie. He's done a great job with this group, a really special, talented group they have.
He's probably my pick for Coach of the Year this year, Noah.
We will see, and we'll hopefully get to see them. Well, we will see them back in action soon here at home, but nonetheless, we got to get back to action here, OCAA men's volleyball, as we get ready for set number 4. Mohawk leading 2-1, can put it away here and take the 2-0 series lead against the Niagara College Knights. NC looking to stop that from happening, but they're going to need to win this all but important set number 4.
Should we go to a 5th set, it will be up to 15 instead of the standard 25. So Niagara hoping to get to that 5th set, as Leland Parento will check in for the first time today.
So some changes for NC, as Mitch Chirpy's going to start this set as well. And like you said, Leland Parento now moving into the center position. Mohawk staying the same. Parento to the outside. Chirpy with a big swing, but it's dug up by Neem. Taylor's going to have to throw over a free ball. Parento to Redicop out of the middle. Never made it over. And Mohawk wins the first point here. So Marchetti checking out now for Mitch Chirpy. Will start set number 4. Here's Noah Bouchard. Took a little bit off that one. Newitz passes a little bit tight to the net. Parento couldn't keep it in. And NC not happy about that call. As they said, Parento went a little bit too far over the net. Nonetheless, it's a 2-0 start for the Mountaineers. Newitz passes. Parento to the middle. And Mohawk was on the net. As Redicop able to draw them in and win the point, he'll go back serving. Redicop serve, passed up by Zakari, a little bit off the net for Bouchard. Morrison coming out of the left side. He sends that one way out, and NC will win straight points. It's back tied up here 2-2.
Yeah, these two teams continuing to stay close, but Niagara, if they want to win this set, they're going to need to get on to a quick start, because like I mentioned, it's been so competitive throughout.
Redicop sends it out the back. And NC struggled with the missed serves in set number 3, and they get their first here in set number 4.
Well, not just in set number 3, really throughout the whole game. There's been 20+ service errors for Niagara.
Chirpy gets down, a good pass. Smith on the outside, it's deflected off the block, and Taylor able to play it up. Bouchard, Zakari, straight through the gap. And Dean Zakari starting off how he's played all game with another big kill. Here's Josh Taylor behind the line for Mohawk.
Dean Zakari, 6'1" from Burlington.
Chirpy will play over a free ball. Bouchard to May out of the middle. Ethan May brings down the hammer. And Mohawk looking to end things here. They got a good start to the set number 4. Here's Josh Taylor again. This time finds the net, and NC catches a break. Taylor passes. Morrison can't find the court. And NC have got themselves back down 1, 2 straight points. Here's Wisdom Smith. Folks that one into the net, and that's another missed serve for NC early on. Here's Ethan May. His serve passed up by Mike Inuits. Ashton soaring out of the back row and pushes it down and wins the point. Mitch Chirpy serving for NC. Bouchard. Taylor gonna have to play it out of the back row. Parento to Newitz. Off hands and out of play. Ashton Newitz is starting to heat up in this one.
It's been a lot of Wisdom Smith here today. Ashton Newitz has done his thing too, but it feels like if Niagara wants to win this game, they're going to need one more player to really get going here.
Chirpy. His serve passed up by Zakari. He'll get it back on the outside. High off the block. Newitz will play it. Parento to Orr. NC able to recycle. Newitz off the net. Floats it into the corner. Tight for Bouchard. Came off his hands and off the antenna. And NC take their first lead. Mitch Chirpy stringing some points together from behind the service line. Morrison tight to the net. He's blocked. And Mohawk will recycle. Zakari puts it away. And he continues to be deadly on that left side. Morrison serve. Parento to Smith out of the back row. Kept alive by Mohawk. Steve Stone not happy. They should have been possibly a call against Mohawk, maybe a double hit. Neem. Morrison out the back and looking for touches. None coming, so NC will win the point. And they go back up 1. Here's Riley Orr. His serve caught Zakari, and an ace for Riley Orr.
Niagara with their biggest lead, and it feels like quite a while being up by 2, but it just really shows how close and fairly matched these two teams are.
Bouchard to Morrison, blocked by Redicop at the net. And NC starting to turn things up here defensively. Orr looking to continue his run of serves. His floater got through the hands, and Zakari on the outside plays it over top of the block and out of play. Man, Dean Zakari has been so good for Mohawk in this one. 3 straight kills for him for the Mountaineers. Zakari's floater into the net. And you can hear the fans starting to get into it.
Potentially an assist to the fans there on that service error.
So here's Leland Parento. His first serve in this set for NC. Soft floater passed up by Neem. Bouchard to the outside. Taylor a big swing. And how about Josh Taylor in this game? He came in partway through set number 3. And was just thrown in maybe for a couple plays, and he's really turned it up here for Mohawk. He's been excellent up at the net. As that one sailed at the back for Mohawk. Another missed serve for them. So here's Ashton Newitz. Hard float, passed up by Zakari. They'll go to Taylor once more, able to recycle it. Bouchard pushes it deep, Newitz read it. Parento to Chirpy, rolls it over. May out of the middle, took a deflection off hands and threw off Parento. And went down on the Knights side, 12-10.
Seems like the Knights here really like the unit that they've had out on the floor. It seems like it's been pretty much all them this 4th set.
Smith can't find the court. And Mohawk fighting back here. They've cut the lead to 1. Here's Noah Bouchard. That one spins all the way out of play. And that's 4 missed serves now for Mohawk.
You talk about how it's been a problem for Niagara, which it has. They've already got 2 service errors here, but Mohawk certainly not doing themselves any favors in this 4th set.
Redicop's floater took a touch off the tape and was an overpass. NC to reset. Chirpy off hands, out of play, and Mitch Chirpy tools it off the block. NC a must-win 4th set here to force a 5th. Mohawk looking to end things here. Knights currently leading 14-11. If you're just joining us, I'm Noah Vogel. Alongside me, Alex Vanden Hack. Roll over. Parento got down and made a good dig. Chirpy tights the net, pushes it. Zakari read it. Pushed deep by Morrison. Parento to the middle, or able to recycle it. Back to Chirpy. Cross court. What a dig by Neem. Can they get it over? They can't. And the Knights take another big rally. And they lead by 4 here. Mohawk looking to take a timeout. Possibly they will.
Yeah, the biggest lead for Niagara in really a while, up by 4 here in this 4th set.
So Mohawk takes their first timeout here in set number 4. 15-11, NC leading. And they've really started to string points together here. And starting to attack much better in this 4th set. On the back of Mitch Chirpy, Wisdom Smith, and Ashton Newitz as well. NC over in Hamilton, this basketball game for the OCAA men's basketball. 4-point game, 38 seconds left in the 4th quarter. Knights leading 74-70. We'll keep a close eye on that as we continue our coverage here of this OCAA men's volleyball game.
Yeah, Caden Moore is having a fantastic game. 18 points on 8 of 11 shooting with 7 boards as well. Marco Dawson's been shut down in the second half, shooting 2 of 5 from the field. But you've still got some volleyball to worry about here in Welland at the Simply Financial Athletics Center, as we'll get a replay of that last point.
Great take from Parento to start things off. Mohawk having to put over a free ball, and NC taking advantage of it, able to recycle it once more, and finally, with Mitch Chirpy able to put it away. Neem, what a great get. And he's been all over the court for Mohawk in this one. But couldn't do enough that time. Rowan Redicop now out of the timeout serving. NC leading by 4. That one just out. We've seen a couple of corners picked by Rowan Redicop. Couldn't do it that time. Substitution coming in, so Zakari's going to check out here. And Alex Jurek's going to check back in. Brad McClure just looking for a little bit of a different look up at the net. Alex Jurek standing at 6'4" compared to Zakari's 6'1". Brento to Orr. Oh my goodness, what a block from Ethan May. Solo effort from number 7 for Mohawk and a huge block. And they've cut the lead now down to 2. 2 straight points out of the timeout for the Mountaineers. Taylor serve, Parento racing across, gets it up for Chirpy, who this time gets the better of Ethan May and tools it for another NC point. Matty Tactics checking back in for Wisdom Smith.
Yeah, that's a good response there for the Knights, obviously with the big play prior by Mohawk to respond with another big play of your own, keeping this lead up to 3.
So here's Matty Tactics. Passed up by Neem. Jurak reaches over top of the block and pushes it down. And a good response out of the timeout for Mohawk. They've pushed back to everything the Knights have thrown at them. So here's Ethan May now serving. His spinner passed up by Chirpy. Tactics out of the back row, and he's blocked up in the net as Jurak using his length to block that one. And Ethan May continuing to serve. Had 4 aces in set number 1. Hasn't been as deadly from behind the line since. We'll see if he can replicate that here. Not this time. Newitt's passes. They'll go to Chirpy with a huge swing, looking for touches. They'll get it. As Mitch Chirpy fired that one down the line. I don't even think the Knights thought that touched anyone, but nonetheless, that's the call.
Ethan May of Mohawk couldn't believe that Niagara got the call, but nonetheless, Knights up by 2 here with Chirpy set to serve.
So Matthew Perron's gonna check. Not quite yet. They're gonna make Mitch Chirpy serve first, as the count had already started, and just an unfortunate situation there. And Mitch Chirpy gonna come over to the head referee and ask questions here, as I'm not sure if Chirpy heard the whistle or not and had to hurry on that serve, and he sent it all the way out the back. So point given away for NC. They only lead by 1 here. Morrison puts it into the net. So it doesn't matter, they get the point right back.
Yeah, that's service error number 5 from Mohawk here in this 4th set.
So Jack Drummond texts back in. He's gonna serve in for Riley, or the birthday boy. 18-16, NC leading. Drummond serve, a good one. Taylor passes. Jurak on the outside, he's blocked. And point to NC as they'll call the lift on Taylor. And we'll see those substitutions for Mohawk. Cole Crowder gonna check in, as well as Thomas Kuzma.
And Noah, going back to the coverage of the basketball game, Niagara still up by 4, this time with 6 seconds left. Mohawk just called a timeout, so Niagara in the driver's seat down in Hamilton.
What a big win that would be over the Mountaineers. A very, very good men's basketball program they have over, and especially with the start that NC had it to their season, as Drummond sends that one out the back. And you can see the motion over from Matty Tactics saying it looks like they were out of rotation. So the referee gonna check with each other and see what's going on here. Drummond sent that serve out the back, but some of the Knights players thought Mohawk might have been out of rotation. And it looks like they were, so NC gonna get the point on that one. And Drummond will go back serving again. Like I was saying about the men's basketball team, didn't have the greatest start in 2024 to their season, and what a big win it would be if they can take down Mohawk. Still 5 seconds left in that one.
to your point, Noah, the men's basketball team for the Knights started their season 2-6, beat Redeemer on the road, and then Fanshawe at home. So if they can take care of business down in Hamilton, they will be on a 3-game streak.
I'm going home. Bye, y'all. See y'all.
So still figuring out with head coach Brad McClure, as he wasn't sure whether they were out of rotation or not. Mohawk, a very strong basketball program, 8-3 on the season in their first 11 games. And like we said, NC 4-6. Still time left in that one. NC leading by 2, 76-74, with Caden Stewart at the free throw line.
Caden Stewart with 14 points in this contest. If he can hit the second, it will likely close out that game. But still some conversation between the officials and the players about that last call.
And this would be a big point, as it would put NC 5 away. Sorry, Alex.
No, to interrupt, that game has gone final down in Hamilton. Niagara winning 77-74.
And Mohawk's going to take a timeout after that long break in play. The Knights now pushing 5 here, 20-16, as they try and win this must-win set number 4. Mohawk leading 2-1, and the Mountaineers still complaining about whether they were out of rotation or not.
Looks like the Mountaineers called timeout just to discuss the call with the official, which is an interesting decision, but...
Well, this timeout could be used to figure out where they need to get themselves back into position, because that's a huge point in this game. That missed serve from Jack Drummond would have made it a 2-point game, and now it's a 4-point game. So out of the timeout, NC leading by 4. Trying to force a 5th set here. Their first game of 2025. Jack Drummond going to continue serving here behind the line for NC. You can still see animated over on the Mohawk bench. Brad McClure not happy with that call nonetheless. NC with the advantage. Crowder. Fanned on it to Jurak. Ashton Newitz! Huge kill for Ashton Newitz. And NC now pushing 4.
Mohawk without timeouts down the stretch here. Niagara still with 2.
Taylor with a pass. Crowder to the outside. Big wind-up swing from Kuzma. And he puts it down, his 2nd kill of the game. So here's Alex Jurak. 21-17, NC leading. Jurak serve into the net. 6 missed serves in this set for Mohawk. And Wisdom Smith going to check back in for Matty Tekix. Leland Parento back serving for the Knights. Parento serve just out. Couldn't find the corner. And the lead now cut down to 4 once again. Jordan Ho gonna check back in, and he's gonna go back and serve.
Let's go, boys. Let's go.
Jordan Ho, 5'9" from Markham, first year for the Mohawk. Excuse me.
Off the tape, Newitt's got down for it. Parento to Smith on his offside. Couldn't get it over. And Mohawk starting to string some points together here, 22-19.
Keep an eye on the timeouts here for Niagara. 2 in their back pocket down the stretch here.
That one into the net from Jordan Ho, and now it's 2 points away from forcing a fifth set here for NC.
Service there, number 6 for Mohawk.
So here's Ashton Newitt. Bullet of a serve. Crowder to May out of the middle. Still up, but won't matter as NC was on the net. And that will set up Thomas Kuzma, the first year for Mohawk. Parento, Smith, Wisdom Smith puts NC up 4 and 1 point away from a fourth set win. We'll see another substitution as Wyatt Thompson's gonna check back in. Came in set number 3, missed his serve. We'll see if he can put this one to bed here and force a fifth set. Here comes Thompson. His floater is good. Overpass. Chirpy wires that one down. Mohawk keeps it alive. Chirpy loads up again. And Jurak with the dig. Taylor. Mohawk recycles. They'll go back to him on the outside. He had to throw it over. Parento to Smith. Smith kept alive, but it was inside the antenna, so it was out of play. And the Knights will force a set number 5 here after Mohawk took a 2-1 set lead in the fourth set. NC, who led for the majority of this one, win 25-20, and we're going to 5 here in the first game of 2025 for NC. As the Knights looking to sweep volleyball and basketball after they already did that today with the men's win moments ago. And what a back and forth game this has been. The Knights took the first set in a very close one, 29-27. Mohawk responded with a win of their own, 29-27 in set number 2. They were able to come out with a dominant set 3 win, 25-18, and NC comes back and takes set number 4. So we're gonna go to a fifth set, 1st to 15.
Well, no, it's not a surprise that these two teams are in such a close game, and you can even make a point with the basketball games as well, both of them being Niagara wins with under 2 possessions or less. But this is a rivalry game. These teams don't like each other. You know firsthand, Noah. But whenever these two teams play, it doesn't matter about the record. It's going to be a fun, intense, and close game, and that's what we're seeing here today.
Taking a look at that last point, Mitch Chirpy had a couple of opportunities up in the net, couldn't put it away, and eventually it was Wisdom Smith who has been very strong this entire game and has been a lot what the Knights have looked to for final points, and he did it just there to force set number 5, which just moments away here at the Simply Financial Athletic Center.
Keep in mind, this set will be up to 15 versus 25.
So Mohawk will come out with their same lineup they started off with in set number 1. So Josh Taylor will sit on the bench as Alex Jurak will come back into the game. And we'll see how NC line up for this 5th and final set. They made a couple of changes so far in this game. So here we go. Set number 5, do or die between the Niagara College Knights and the Mohawk Mountaineers. Knights looking for their first win of 2025 and looking for the sweep on the day against the Mohawk Mountaineers. NC gonna go with the same lineup they did with set number 4. Parento out there at the center position. Mitch Chirpian once again. If you're just joining us here, NC took set number 1. Mohawk took 2 straight to take a 2-1 set lead, and the Knights forced a 5th set that we're moments away from now. I'm Noah Vogel, alongside me, Alex Vanden Hak here with you.
Sorry, everybody watching online.
And here we go. We'll start things off with Leland Parento behind the service line for NC. Do or die, 5th set. Mohawk looking for their first win of 2025. NC looking for the same. Parento serve, passed up Bouchard to May out of the middle, and coming across was Chirpy to get that one. Bouchard to Jurak, blocked at the net, and down, Wisdom Smith. Exactly where the Knights lead up at the net, big presence. And a good start for NC, taking point number 1.
Yeah, with this set being only to 15, you're going to have to build momentum here and assert yourself in the driver's seat, and that's what Wisdom Smith is trying to do right now.
Parento, soft serve down the line. Jurak on the outside, blocked again. Wisdom Smith using that 6'8" frame, back-to-back blocks. And NC with a dream start here in set number 5. Parento serve. Jurak passes. Bouchard. This time will go to the right side. Came off the block. And down for Morrison.
So silent when she says so cute, mama. Such a cute girl. Okay.
Here's Noah Bouchard. Parento to the middle. Redicott pushes and finds the court. And NC side out right back. Ashton Newitt's now serving. His spinner passed up by Neve. Jurak can't find the court. Yes, he can. And Steve Stone can't believe it. From here, Alex, that looked like that might have gone out. Nonetheless, it's in the court and Mohawk sides out.
Yeah, you'll have to play through it. Steve Stone usually isn't too animated, so I think he's got a case.
Chirpy with a nice get on the serve receive. He'll get it back on the outside. Looking for touches, won't get it. That one sailed out. And we're back to square one. We're tied here at 3-3. Jurak serve. Newitt's got down to pass and he couldn't get it up. An ace for Alex Jurak. And here he is serving once again. Chasing for that one and finds the net. So an ace and a missed serve. And we're tied now at 4-4.
Oh, yeah. Leave him in. Make more mistakes.
Here's Rowan Redicott. Bouchard. Morrison. Back-to-back kills for him on 2 attacks. And Morrison getting looks here in this 5th set. Now here's Ethan May serving for Mohawk. one out. Smith just got out of the way. Good reactions from Wisdom Smith. He's not going to check out here for Matty Tactics. So Tactics will go back and serve. Tactics spinner. Pass up by Jurak. Tight to the net for Bouchard. Able to keep it alive. And NC will throw over a free ball. Bouchard. Zakari took a deflection. Jerpy able to play it off of the net. Riley Orr will throw it over. Bouchard to Zakari once again. Blocked but out of play. And Zakari once again with a huge point for Mohawk as he tools it off the block.
Let's go, boys. Let's go.
Here's Brecken Morrison serving. Parento to Orr out of the middle. Off the top of the block and out of play. And Riley Orr with a huge bounce back point.
Sorry, I'm shaking your whole.
Mitch Chirpy serving now for NC. Came off the top of the tape. Zakari plays it. He'll get it on the outside now. Newitz came across. He got a touch and couldn't keep it alive. Zakari again picking apart this night's defense.
Yeah, this fifth set has just been very, very close. I don't think the lead has been much more than 2 as the fans are giving it to Dean Zakari.
Zakari, a good serve, passed up by Newitz. Parento had to put it over. Chirpy to help out. Newitz looking for touches, he'll get it. And NC respond once again. We're tied here. Jack Drummond gonna check back in.
Looking back to October 30th, Mohawk swept Niagara with a 3-0 win. This one very, very different.
Bouchard to the outside. Jurak puts it down the line. And at the switch, Mohawk leading 8-7 here in set number 5.
Yeah, no, this game really can't be much closer than what we've seen here today. I've mentioned the rivalry game, and whenever these two teams play each other, regardless of sport, it's always going to be a good game and close at that.
So just before we get back underway, Drummond will check back out, and Jordan Ho is going to check back in for Mohawk to serve.
I know. Okay, bye. DJ Pants. Just walk. Oh, guys, sorry. I thought that was his shirt.
2 timeouts still remaining for both sides down the stretch here as Jordan Ho will serve, but definitely interesting to see how those will be deployed.
Newitz passes, they'll go to Redekop out of the middle, dug up by Ho, but out of bounds. And NC on the restart with a quick point. And we're back tied once again. So Smith will check back in for tactics as he goes back into the front row. And that'll set up Leland Parento serving. Parento, his floater. Bouchard to Mayo to the middle, blocked but kept alive by Mohawk. Jurak does it again for Mohawk, a big point. as they now lead 9-8 here, pushing 6. Noah Bouchard again serving. His spinner passed up perfectly by Chirpy. Newitz responds to the kill from Jurak. Ashton Newitz has been so good here in this one.
You can't block him.
Marchetti's going to check back in for Chirpy. One more size up in the front row for NC.
Somebody to spell it out for you.
Here's Ashton Newitz, tied at 9 here in set number 5. His spinner, passed up, Bouchard to the outside, Jurak. Once again, Alex Jurak does it for Mohawk. And the Mountaineers win the race to 10. He'll go back serving. Here comes Jurak. Sends it out. So he gets a point, gives a point. And this game could not be any more back and forth.
No, you hit the nail right on the head. 2 service errors here for Mohawk in this 5th set. Feels like a playoff game here today.
Bouchard, Morrison, blocked out of play, tools it. And NC just unable to stop the attack from Mohawk. They've been very clean up at the net. Ethan May, his serve. Passed up by Newitz. Parento, Smith, soaring from the right side. It's dug up by Jurak. Zakari off the net, rolls it over. Newitz pushes. Smith hanging, can't get anything as he sends it long, and NC down 2 here. Steve Stone looking probably to call a timeout, and he will. So Mohawk with the advantage. They lead 12-10 here in set number 5. And NC, unlike Mohawk, just have not been able to put balls away. And the Mountaineers now only 3 points from a victory here, their first of 2025.
Yeah, this second set has really been super competitive. I think the biggest lead has been 2 for either side. But this matchup has just been so fun to watch. It feels like everyone in some way, somehow has contributed for both teams. Like you've said, Noah, it's pretty much as close as it can be. Niagara Athletics looking to sweep Mohawk today. The women's volleyball team winning here 3-1 versus Mohawk, and back in Hamilton, both of our basketball teams defeated the Mountaineers in very close matchups. The biggest margin of victory was 5 for the women. The men won by 3. So 4 great matchups for the Knights.
Don't expect anything else when it's Niagara College against Mohawk. That's what we're getting here today.
It's a shame that they only play twice a year.
Serve from May out of the timeout. Orr throws it over. Bouchard able to get it up for Morrison. And they'll tip it back over. Parento to the middle. And Orr slams it down. One-point deficit for the Knights. Matthew Perron's going to check back in for Leland Parento for this final stretch here.
Mohawk still having 2 timeouts in their back pocket, so expect them to be used fairly soon.
Smith's floater. Bouchard going to go to Zakari on the outside. It's blocked and out on the antenna. NC just has no answer for the outside hitters of Mohawk. Steve Stone's going to call a second timeout as NC down 2 here. So it's how they wanted to come out of the timeout break. They won the point to cut the lead to 1, and then Zakari comes right back with another big kill. One of many he's had today. And as we talk about Dean Zakari and how good he's been for Mohawk, we'll take a look at that last play and that last kill for him to give the Mountaineers a 2-point lead. They lead 13-11 here in set number 5. And Dean Zakari able to put it off the block and down. And Niagara College, with no timeouts left, have to dig themselves out of a 2-point deficit.
Still very, very winnable. However, they're going to have to get something going now.
I thought I was good at it from when I was younger. Turns out I am not coordinated at all. I'm not good with like.
So out of the timeout, Brecken Morrison serving for the Mountaineers.
I'm so bad at it.
Here is Morrison. Marchetti passes. Newitz to help out. Marchetti dug up by Neem. Zakari off the top of the block. Perron to the middle. Kept alive again by Mohawk. Perron pushes. Marchetti having to readjust, and he wipes it off the hands and out of play. And it's a 1-point game.
Coach McClure is going to use his first timeout here. Now that it's 13-12 with the serve coming from Niagara. I'm standing down. No, this is a fantastic game.
Coming down to the wire. We started here today at 1 o'clock. It's now 6 p.m. And the men's game started a little bit late, around 3:30. But this game has been so close that we've been here for a while, just awaiting to see the winner. And Mohawk 2 points away, NC down 1 here in set number 5 as the Mountaineers take their first timeout. If you're just joining us, I'm Noah Vogel, he's Alex Vandenhack. And the women's team able to take out a 3-1 set win over Mohawk earlier today. And the men looking to double up here over the Mountaineers in their first game of 2025 in the OCAA. But they're gonna have to come back from behind. They did it to force to set number 5, and now they gotta do it here in the 5th set. So here we go, out of the timeout, it's Liam Marchetti serving for NC. Marchetti serve. Bouchard to the middle, blocked but kept alive. Jurak, that one was going in. Marchetti had to play it. Trying to tip it over was Ashton Newitz. They'll go back to Zakari on the outside. He's blocked, but it goes down on the side of the Knights. And with no timeouts left, it's game point for the Mountaineers.
And that's what you want to see out of the timeout. For Coach McClure getting the point, and now, like you said, no timeouts for Niagara. They have to get this point here and hope for potentially a service error.
Cole Crowder checks in for some more height up at the net for the Mountaineers. It's Dean Zakari with a chance to put the game to bed. Perron to Orr, puts it down, and NC's got a lifeline.
Watch for that final timeout here. Doesn't look like Coach McClure will use it, as Orr will serve.
Riley Orr's serve is good. Bouchard, back set into the net. And now we're tied up at 14. We're going to extras in set number 5.
Wow.
Here comes Riley Orr. The first year. Sends it down the line. Took took a touch, an ace for Riley Orr. Mohawk can't believe it. And NC with game point now.
Mohawk can't believe the call, but Brad McClure is going to use that final timeout here as we're at match point here, Noah.
What a crazy sequence. As Riley Orr looked to have sent that one out of play. It was called touches over on the far side. It was hard to see from our angle who did touch it, but nonetheless, NC has got game point on their hands, which they've struggled to put away. Need to take advantage of it now as Mohawk takes their final timeout.
Yeah, you mentioned.
So it was hard for us to see, but let's take a look. Oh, wow, maybe it brushed off the hands of Dean Sakari. It was hard to tell. He looked like he didn't think he had touched it, but nonetheless, I guess he did.
Well, I don't think he's going to say, I don't think he's going to admit to touching it, especially in a close game like this. That could really decide the game here, but nonetheless, you've got to play through it, but I don't think Riley Orr really cares. He got an ace, looking to quadruple down today with the basketball teams and now with volleyball.
So what a turn of events. NC was down 14-12 in this set. They now have a chance to put it away, but that's going to be delayed for now as Jurak able to tool it off the block. Mujirius now serving for Mohawk. Newitz passes, Perron out to Ashton Newitz. It's dug up. Marchetti diving in to keep it alive. Ashton Newitz took a touch. Mohawk was on the net. And the Knights regain the advantage. Game point once again.
Mohawk does not like that call either. Looked like Ethan May was going to go over for an explanation. He won't, as Matthew Perron will serve here.
Here is Matty Perron with the game in his hands. Puts it in the net. And we'll continue here in set number 5.
It's the first service there for Niagara in this 5th set. It couldn't have came at a worse time. Both teams here without a timeout.
Noah Bouchard, a very strong server for Mohawk. Passed up by Micah Newitz. Ashton Newitz trying to wipe it off the block, and Jurak able to play it into space, and now the Mountaineers have the advantage. 17-16. Noah Bouchard serving. Bouchard sends it out the back. And we continue rolling here, 17-all.
Yeah, that's back-to-back chances at victory from the serve. And it goes as a service error, one for each team.
Ashton Newitz serving. Soft flow, passed up by Zakari. Jurak on the outside, couldn't get it over. NC again with advantage, 18-17. Head coach Brad McClure cannot believe what has transpired here in this 5th set. From being 1 point away, up 14-12. NC now with a chance to put it away. Morrison gets a kill, and a huge one on his offside. And we're going band for band right now in this 5th set, Alex.
Yeah, we're going band for band, and Mohawk's trying to respond by going M for M.
So here's Alex Jurak back serving again. Passed up by Micah Newitz. They'll go to Marchetti off the net. Neem with the dig. Zakari blocked by Smith. Can he keep it alive? He can. Jurak puts it on. It's still alive. Perron kept it up. Smith off hands. Bouchard plays it into space. Morrison puts it over. Perron to Smith. Can't find the court. No touches. And Mohawk regains the advantage. What a play. Right in front of us. Zakari kept that one alive. And Jurak put it over. It clipped the top of the tape. NC barely keeps it up.
What a rally.
Oh my goodness. 19-18, Mohawk again a chance to put it away. What a fifth set you have been treated here today, folks. Jurak came off the tape. Perron to Marchetti, blocked up in the net. NC recycles. Marchetti again, blocked, but Ashton Newitz keeps it alive. Jurak diving across, keeps it in. Newitz with the dig. They'll go to Smith on the outside, rolls it down, and we continue as Wisdom Smith scores for NC 19-0.
I'll tell you what, Noah, I've been standing watching this for the last 7 or 8 minutes. This has been unbelievable. It's a crime that these two teams only play against each other twice a year.
Fireworks to start 2025. Bouchard to May out of the middle. Out of play, and NC regains the advantage. How many times have I said that here in this fifth set? The Knights another opportunity to put this game away. Rowan Redekop serving. Zakari, Bouchard, Morrison, blocked, and that's game. NC wins a thriller at home, their first of 2025. They win 21-19 in set number 5. Wow, what a game.
That's a clean sweep of Mohawk for the day, going back to basketball. 21-19 win. I have no words.
A resilient Niagara College win as they come back from being down 2-1 to win in 5, and they do it in extra points. 21-19, the final score. Oh my goodness, Alex, what an afternoon for NC Athletics, and what a way to finish it off. That final point coming off the back of a huge kill on the outside. We'll take a look at that replay right now. Morrison blocked up off the net and unable to keep it alive was Alex Jurak, and that will do it. What a game we saw here today. Your final thoughts, Alex?
Well, I think I'll let the players say my final thoughts. I think I'll let the game speak for itself. What a game.
Incredible here at the Simply Financial Athletic Center. From myself, Noah Vogel, alongside me, Alex Vanden Hek, and everyone behind the scenes here making this all possible here today. NC gets their first win of 2025 and will roll on. They'll be back here next weekend for another home game. Jack Drummond, happy birthday to you as he gets his final birthday song to end this one. And that'll do it. We'll sign off here. Have a very good night. Knights win.